This Hwachong JC question proves that not all vectors questions require long workings to solve. As you can see over here, we are given a very simple question asking us to find the angle between two vectors, right? Typically, when you come across this type of questions, you will think, oh, okay, dot product, cross product, right? But actually, it's just dot product. So if I write down vector OA is represented by A bar, which is just 2, negative 1, 0, and vector B bar will be represented by 0, 0, alpha. Right, as you can see over here, whereby alpha is, we know it's a negative real constant over here. So we want to find the angles between OA and OB, and what we can do is that we can just draw a simple diagram over here to sort of visualize, right? So this is my origin O, here's A, here's B, here's A bar, here's B bar, and then here would be the theta, which is the angle between them. So let's just define the angle that we want to find first. So let the angle between OA and OB be theta, right? As simple as that. Now, to find theta, just need to recall your dot product. And your dot product is A dot B equals to mod A mod B cosine theta, right? So if you make the theta the subject of the formula, theta would be cosine inverse A dot B over AB, like that, right? And then you know that A dot B over here, we can simply just do the calculation. A dot B would just be 2, negative 1, 0 dot 0, 0 alpha, which ends up to be 2 times 0 plus negative 1 times 0 plus 0 times alpha, which we know just gives us 0, right? So it's just 0 at the end. And then mod A would just be square root 2 square plus negative 1 square, which gives us a square root 5. And then mod B would just be alpha square, which just gives us alpha. Right, so if we sub all of these values inside our equation over here, you get theta equals to cosine inverse 0 over root 5 alpha. But the thing over here is that we got to realize that 0 divided by anything will always be 0, right? So it doesn't matter what is over here. This will just be 0, which eventually just gives us 90 degrees as the final answer, because we know that theta over here has to be acute, right? Whenever we use this equation over here, we are assuming that theta over here is acute. But this is the typical way that people solve. But how do you visualize this intuitively? So if you take a look at the values over here, you see that OA exists in the XY plane, right? So if I were to draw out the planes over here, X, Y, Z, right? You see that OA exists over here, right? It does not have any Z value. So here is 8, and then here's my origin O. And then you see that OB over here only exists in the Z plane, all right? And since it's negative over here, it'll be somewhere over here. So since we have one vector that only exists in the XY plane and another vector that only exists in the Z plane, the angle between them must be 90 degrees. Right? And that's how we intuitively get the answer over here. So actually, you can get the answer without doing the question, but for working sake and for meta mark sake, we will still write down the answer. But this is just to show you that not all vectors questions is complicated, right? A lot of it can just be visualized intuitively, and that's how you actually derive the answer. So if you're watching this video, you're still watching this video, means that you actually care about your studies, and I want to help you out in your H2 math journey. So as you know, I run a math tuition center, and we have H2 math classes for J1 and J2. If you want more information of our classes, make sure to WhatsApp this number over here, and I'll send you the details to our classes, be it physical classes or access to our library of classes online. And I'll see you on WhatsApp.